What's up, guys? It's Simon. So today is the first week of the Tarot forecast, and what this is basically saying, or rather what I mean by this, is that I will be reading to you guys a card for every day of the week starting Monday up until next Sunday, and it will also include a oracle card from the Angel Prayers Oracle deck. And what that is basically the Tarot card is your archetype of the day. So basically it's that energy of the day that you're going to be dealing with. And then the oracle card is the guidance on how you deal with that energy for its best productive outcome. Now, this doesn't mean that that you're going to end off with a great day. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to end off with a bad day either. It just means it's basically to help you deal with it the best way you can. So I will also be reading my notes, so that way I don't lose track of what I'm saying, I don't repeat myself, and that I can stay focused and give you the best reading possible. What else did I want to share with you? Oh, I will be recording and uploading this on Sunday, so that way you have a day in advance of what to come, especially from Monday. That way you're not feeling rushed, like, oh, Monday's already started and this is what's happening today and I'm not prepared and all of that. So I wanted to give you guys that opportunity. And to remind you also, I know the last video was difficult to hear. It was difficult for myself. I remember I didn't edit that, but I will not be making any more videos that have music playing in the background. But I also wanted to remind you that this will be replacing the one card Angel Prayer Oracle. I think it was one card, maybe it was 3 cards. Anyway, it's replacing that. So there will be no more Angel Prayer Oracle card readings. That will be separate. They're incorporated with this reading. Excuse me. So like I said, it will be starting Monday until next Sunday. You got the archetype card with the tarot, and then you have the guidance card with the oracle cards, the angel oracle cards. Gonna be reading my notes. I think I've let you guys know about everything. So, without further ado, let's continue with the reading. Alright, so for Monday we have, and I hope this is showing up to you correctly, but we have the Queen of Coins, or Pentacles, depending on how you want to read it. And what this is basically saying is, there's going to be an energy of nurturing and supporting everything from like animals to friends to family to strangers. You're going to have a very welcoming, big-hearted energy. However, you're still going to be practical and reasonable and resourceful. So basically it's going to be an overall really good abundance card to have. You're going to be experiencing a lot of abundance because of that emotional, spiritual, and or physical support. Do forgive those notification sounds. Those are coming from my tablet. I forgot to mute it. But, due to all of that, being practical and resourceful, you're going to be experiencing abundance, or have the opportunity, let's say, to experience abundance. However, the guidance card is saying to call on spiritual support because you may feel depleted of chi due to feeling so abundant and being so giving. You may feel a little depleted, so you might want to call on your spiritual tribe, your clan, your deity, angels, ancestors, whatever feels right for you. Call on them so that way you end up not feeling depleted and you have that abundance for yourself to finish off the day and continue with the day, harnessing that energy to its fullest. So on Tuesday, we have the reversed Wheel of Fortune. So basically this is where the day kind of takes a turn. I don't want to necessarily say for the worse, but it definitely does take a turn, and it kind of stays this way for a couple of days. So you're going to have a raise in awareness, or that need to raise your awareness. It's going to be a time of movement, change, turning point. That kind of energy is going to be going on. Unfortunately, there will be some negative and or unpleasant circumstances that will be going on. So it may be anything from like something like really bad happening to something that's not necessarily bad, but it's just not ideal, and it kind of puts a knot in your underwear, so to speak. This could be anything from like a punishment or a karmic lesson that's happening in your life. You're definitely going to feel a sense of control lost during this time due to this turning point, and it's going to be very radical. So the guidance card is Change and Transition, Archangel Azrael. Now again, you don't have to necessarily work with angels. You could just work with deity. You could work with your ancestors, with spirit guides, with animal totems. But basically you want to call on some type of abundant energy or abundant chi source being, so that way they can help you cope and deal with this at the time. A good example could be the Phoenix. If you're not willing to work with Azrael, you could work with the Phoenix as well, or instead of. So basically, make sure you got that support system again, but in this case for dealing with the crazy change that's going on. So we move on to Wednesday, which is the Reversed Empress. This is all about creative and or expressive blocks. So this could be just feeling like an artistic block, or it could be like you're feeling a block of emotional expression or intellectual expression. That's really bad. So you really don't want to have that going on, but you know, unfortunately these are the archetypes of the day, so you can't really change anything about that. You just have to roll with it. It's expressive block could be because maybe someone you're with is making you feel like you can't express yourself honestly. Maybe it's a work situation, maybe it's a lover, or maybe it's a family member or a friend. But it may be also making you feel like you have to be dependent on them, or they're depending on you, so you have that dependence going on. There's also that possibility of smothering others or being smothered yourself, or even both. You're going to feel probably very disconnected because there's some type of lack, maybe that lack of expression or creativity. That's most likely what's going to be going on, or maybe that lack of independence. This is a good time to either take time off for yourself and make them be independent, or be introspective and really try and address that possible dependence or smothering going on, or at least try and figure out what that block is that's going on. What's going to help you, what's that guidance, call on protection. You know, this could be where you call protection for others because of the funk you're in, and or calling protection for yourself. And oh, I just realized I forgot to read to you the blurbs for those cards. So let me go back and read those to you. So this is for Monday, the spiritual support. Okay. Dear angels, I allow you to support me as I grow to become more spiritually aware. Again, you don't have to necessarily work with angels. And for Tuesday, that radical change that's happening, thank you, Azrael, for leading me safely through this change. Again, you don't have to use angels. But for that protection energy for the day I'm talking about now, which is Wednesday, it says, thank you, Michael, for surrounding me with your protective light. You could obviously change that if you don't want to work with angels, as I said, or if you feel you don't need or you don't want the protection, you can apply it to others. But make sure that that protection is set up for yourself. This could, and when I say protection, I'm not necessarily talking about for your home. I'm mostly talking about personal protection. So, like on your body and on other people's bodies, not necessarily on a house or a land or a car. You know, that's not necessarily what I'm referring to at this time. So we move on to Thursday. We get a little break in the crazy, in the unpleasant experience. Excuse me. And on Thursday we have the Ten of Cups, which is all about happiness, joy, and peace. So we get a little break with all that crap that was going on, basically. So this is a good time of alignment, either being aligned or getting aligned. This is all about family and or relationships in general. It's a possibility that you'll be meeting a relationship opportunity at this time, or whether that be like a love relationship or a friend relationship. It could also be like some type of family reunion and or gathering for some type of celebration, or just like a family gathering in general. This is also a good time to be in alignment and do what feels right. You know, again, back to that happiness and joy that I was talking about, or just peace. So maybe this can be another day to take time for yourself. Maybe after that radical change that happened on Wednesday, just take some downtime because that might feel right for you. Okay, so we will also be having the guidance card saying of loved ones in heaven. Again, if you don't feel right with the heaven, it could be a substitute for the other world, the spirit world. What's another one? The Summerland, whatever title you give that the other world. This basically whatever you feel replaces heaven for you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This is basically saying that the ancestors will be close to you at this time. They will either be bringing that merriment or they will be experiencing it with you. So that could be anything from you chilling, they're going to be there to help you chill, help you relax, help you regroup, or maybe they encourage your family members to come together and to have a little celebration. That's basically what it's saying, is that the ancestors are drawing close at this time. And I forgot to read to you that blurb again. Thank you, loved ones in heavens, for drawing close at this time. So again, that could be a good way to open your mind to that energy that will help you harness the energy of the day. So now we're going to move on, to Friday, which is the Knight of Swords. And this is all about being hasty or rushed, not knowing everything or enough before you go about doing it, whatever it is you're doing. It's also about being very direct or blunt, authoritative, good intentions, and or being logical, but not necessarily practical. So this is kind of another not so great day going on. This is actually going to be quite a rough week. I think there was only like 2 days where that were really positive and pleasant. But so that's what's going on here with the archetype of Friday. But for that guidance card, we have Count Your Blessings. Now, at first, this may be a little confusing. It's like, what does counting your blessings have to do with, being hasty and rushed and all that? What it actually has to do with is when you're counting your blessings, you're slowing down. You're taking time to really be focused and think of everything, of what you're being grateful for. So, what may seem as inappropriate or not right for being a guidance card, it's actually very appropriate because it's telling you to slow down and look at all that you know and or have to be grateful for, and be grateful, but also just take that time because it's very precious, because it could cause a problem in the future or even just for that day. So take some time to slow down and look at the big picture. So we move on to Saturday, where we get the reversed Three of Coins. And this is all about unhealthy competition, disharmony, the possibility of lacking a common goal between each other, feeling of not being respected and or valued, lacking organization and plans. So what we have here is the card of New Beginning. And what that's basically saying to me, did I read to you that? I forgot to read. I keep forgetting to read to you that blurb on these cards. I forgot to read you this one. Let me read it to you. Thank you, universe and angels, for the blessings in my life. I don't know why I keep forgetting to read it. But back to Saturday of unhealthy competition, disharmony, and all of that. You have this new goal. New beginnings card. So I'm going to read it to you before I forget. Thank you, angels, for opening up the doors to change. I am ready. And, again, you don't have to work with angels, but I do encourage that you work with these gratitude-like affirmations, especially this one when it has the exclamation statement of, I am ready. I feel that's very good activation of the mind to really switch that mind to really just, okay, brainstorm some new ideas for productive and positive results, because what you're doing now is not working. You don't have, you're not being respected, you're not being valued, and or they may not be respected or valued. So you really need to change it up. You really need to brainstorm and change what you're doing or even not doing. You know, it could be stuff that you're not doing and that you should be doing, and you know, it will better the environment. So that's what that is. So Sunday we have another reversal. We have the reversed Ten of Coins. This is primarily a family-centric card, but not necessarily. What we have here is the lack of stability, financial failure or loss, basically poor foundation, which leads to a high potential of failure. So that's not really pleasant, but let's look at what we have to help us deal with that energy. We have the Miracle of Forgiveness, Archangel Jeremiel, and it reads, "Thank you, Jeremiel, for helping me understand the process of forgiveness." Now you may be feeling like that's kind of a passive approach, and I also want to say, again, you don't have to work with an angel. Feel free to work with whatever energy feels right to you. But basically what this is saying is that accept the energy. There's nothing you can really do about it. It's possible that even though you were brainstorming and you tried new ideas yesterday, they probably were not enough to really make a substantial amount of difference. So accept this loss and forgive, but also acknowledge your own involvement. Don't be quick to do the blame game. Know that it takes two at least to cause a problem, and it takes two to form a relationship. So, you know, you have some involvement too, and make sure that you own that in the most respectful way possible without, you know, putting yourself into the victim mode. You know, just accept what it is and forgive yourself and each other. You know, forgive yourself and forgive whoever else is involved, and acknowledge your own involvement, and kind of maybe if they're struggling, acknowledging or even knowing what their involvement is, maybe help them on a polite, respectful level as well. So that's basically it, guys. That's the reading, you know. So I hope it helps you. Feel free to share this with whomever you feel it will help most with. Also, feel free to comment below if you feel this is any bit of advice that has been beneficial or helpful to you. If you have different interpretations, feel free to share them below. Not everyone thinks or interprets the same way. Yeah. Remember, think outside the cauldron. Hold your head up high, because it's going to be kind of a rough week. But as always, thank you for watching, and blessed be my dear witchlings. Please like and share my business Facebook page, The Sacred Circle. Feel free to leave a message if you want oracle reading or a spell to be cast for you. Thank you, and blessed be.